Well, this is song number 15 in the series, and this was written in 1985. And this was written immediately, very soon after um, everything had really come to a head. And basically, what happened is my wife had a one night stand with a fellow that she had gotten a job briefly, and I knew something was not right about the whole scenario. In fact, that very night that it occurred, as she went out the door, I stopped her and I said, I just, something's not right about this whole scenario. But there was something about her, in her eyes and her manner and whatever. I knew something was about to happen. Although it was a couple of days later before I found out about it, and what actually occurred was I came home after work and she was there without the children, which was odd. She immediately took me in the living room. She wouldn't even let me take my coat off. She said, "I gotta tell you something," and sat me down on the couch and stood in front of me and said, "The other night there when I went to work, my boss raped me." And I literally fell to the floor. An incredible heart cry came out of I mean, it was just incredible, the feeling that came over me of horror and despair. And I think that, although I heard rape, I think deep in my heart I knew that that wasn't what occurred. And of course I immediately wanted to, let's go to the police and report this, and she refused, was adamant that nope, not going to happen. She actually, at that moment, after she told me that, she said, "I'm going to go spend some time with my parents," and basically she went and stayed with her parents for, I don't know, a week maybe or something like that. I don't have no idea what I did after. I can't remember. This is a blank. But I actually did confront this guy a couple of weeks later, and I think maybe that was one of the moments that I began to really wonder, because in the interaction that went on between us, which was pretty intense, no blood was shed, but he was adamant that, "Oh, no, this was consensual." He says, whatever. But I just could not accept this. Although eventually the truth did come out. Initially, I was told that she told me she was raped, and then I assumed that the whole family understood it as that was because it was out in the open, I guess you could say. But I remember years later when things really hit the fan again, with another affair or two, her mother told me, "Oh no, she wasn't raped," because I told her. Remember when she was raped? The whole thing was such a mess. There were so many lies, and anyway, it really had a devastating effect upon me psychologically and emotionally, but spiritually, it began to work in me that God was going to use this to reveal Himself to me in an incredible way. So this was the beginning of, for me, a process of really recognizing my need to fully depend on God and seek after Him. It's been a very long and difficult process, particularly over the next 5 or more years following this, and it culminated with 2 or 3 other affairs right at the very end, relationships. But anyway, and again, more lies, of course. But anyway, this song is called "Some Have Been Called to Cry," and this was I believe it was the first song I wrote immediately after this had occurred, and yeah. So anyway, there we go. Some have been called to share another's burdens. Some have been called to cry. Consider now where your heart lies. Some have been called to cry. God searches deep, sees what is missing. He builds it up inside. tender touch reaches down deep, even to where we cry. Few hearts are free of a heavy burden. Most hearts have felt some kind of pain. God understands every kind of hurting. Some have been called to cry. God teaches lessons to those who are worthy. He tests the inner man inside. His warmth and love is given surely. Some have been called to cry. Few hearts are free of a heavy burden. Most hearts have felt some kind of pain. God understands every kind of hurting. Some have been called to cry. Be reassured, God is not forgotten. He knows what's in our hearts. He softly warms, He gently soothes all the tender parts. Your hearts are free of a heavy burden. Most hearts have felt some kind of pain. God understands every kind of hurting. Some have been called to cry. Few hearts are free of a heavy burden. Most hearts have felt some kind of pain. God understands every kind of hurting. Some have been called to cry. Some have been called to cry. Some have been called to cry.